Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders. Your great millstone and rule have been a great example to his younger brothers in the truth, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And Lord, willing this be an edifying lesson, we can go and get into it. I got a video from the brother measured out the time diligently, going into UK to increase number of nuclear warheads. So let's just watch the video. I didn't watch the video, but I got two scripts, so that ain't gonna be no long video. We're gonna watch this and grab them two scripts and get up out these folks' way, man. But Lord willing, is edifying.
Now, Britain reportedly plans to increase the number of its stockpiled nuclear warheads for the first time since the end of the Cold War. A report by The Guardian says a review of defense and foreign policy would see an increase of number of warheads, which currently stands at around 180, not around, at 180. Now, the review is set to be released next week. Last defense review in 2015 committed the UK to reducing the numbers of operationally available warheads to 120. Increase is set to be aimed at persuading the U.S. to co-fund a replacement for UK nuclear weapons, also known as a Trident nuclear program. Now, Britain has been heavily dependent on U.S. technology to operate its nuclear weapons for the past 60 years. Joining us out of Edinburgh for more on the story is John White, writer and journalist. Hello, John. Pleasure to have you back on the press review, get your perspective, especially on this story. It's kind of a, it's one of these things that doesn't sit well with a lot of people on this planet. They want to be just done with nuclear proliferation. So, your thoughts on this latest development out of the UK?
Well, it was the great Irish author and playwright and satirist Oscar Wilde who once said that patriotism is the virtue of the vicious, and there is no more a vicious brand of patriotism than British patriotism. And in the throes of Brexit, this is a desperate attempt to shore up Britain's fading prestige on the world stage as a major power, and trying to prove to Washington that it is still part of Washington's hegemonic apparatus and is still a valued partner.
And why they trying to prove it to Washington, man? Why? Because America is that whore that sit upon the beast, man. Why do these NATO and EU nations, these other Edomite nations have to prove anything to Washington, man? Why? Because America runs the earth. America is riding upon the beast, and it's controlling the beast, man. When you ride upon the horse, you got the bridle or whatever it's called. You put it in the mouth and you got the screens on it. You pull it back, the horse slow down, or you turn it, the horse turn. That's what's going on, man. But
it is no secret that the Biden administration looks poorly on Brexit. And this is a desperate attempt, as I say, to compensate for the ravages of Brexit. 40% less exports to the EU from the UK in January after Brexit was completed, and 29% reduction in imports from the EU to the UK. That tells its own story on the realities of Brexit. And here's another thing. Trident is a nuclear deterrent based in Scotland, in Faslane on the west coast of Scotland. And it is a hot button issue for people who support Scottish independence. The main Scottish Nationalist Party, the SNP, is against Trident. And so this is going to only inflame passions when it comes to the argument in favour of Scottish independence. This is British nationalism. It is failing, and it will not in any way cover for the reality of Brexit, which is a disaster.
And you think, especially with the economic impacts of Brexit so far, it's probably going to take years for the UK to make up some of the losses, actually figure out a lot of things economically with the European Union to get back on its feet. And then the pandemic, I don't understand, where's the budget coming? Billions of dollars now have to be exhausted for this. They put the Brexit to a referendum. Why not put nuclear proliferation to a referendum there?
Well, that's a very good point indeed. They've just announced 1% pay rise for NHS nurses who've been on the front lines of COVID. That's an absolute insult. And they've argued that they can't afford any more, yet they can afford the billions that will be needed to fund these extra nuclear weapons. It's an absolute disgrace. And yet Boris Johnson, who has presided over the sabotaging of the British economy re-Brexit and the highest COVID death toll in Europe, is still ahead in the polls. False consciousness is a hell of a thing.
Sure is, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you, John, for joining us once again out of Edinburgh. Mr. John White, the writer and journalist.
Now the whole point is, the UK to increase number of nuclear warheads. All the rest of it really, I wasn't studying it. The point is that they want to increase in warheads, man. What's like it? That was the last video I just did. So, like I was saying, America is the beast that sitteth upon the whore, man. This Revelation chapter 17 and verse 15, it say, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore, America, sitteth, are people and multitude and nations and tongues. Yeah, these other continents, and nations that they got these military bases and things like that on. America is sitting on these people with defense. Basically got garrisons set up in these people countries, man. It say, and the 10 horns which thou sawest, and that's going into the EU, and so like these NATO countries. It say, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, so like it, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. How are they gonna do that? Through what? The missiles, man. And I honestly believe, that's just me, they got way more than 180 missiles. Come on, the UK, Britain, Great Britain, them folks, they put it out there, 100 missiles. Man, them folks got probably, they don't tell how many warheads these motherfuckers got, man. Common sense tell you not to tell what you got, man. That's not smart. Oh, this person only got this many missiles. I can out-missile them. You ain't gonna tell how many missiles you got, man. But at the end of the day, all these countries creating these weapons for the Lord's indignation. It say, for God have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh shall be fulfilled, And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, America, which reign over the kings of the earth, man. Yeah. So America, they creating these missiles, extra warheads, for what? The destruction of America, man. And these are the Lord's missiles, man. These ain't Esau missiles. It ain't no, man. These the Lord's missiles. This Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 5. Yeah, in verse 5 it say, they come from a far country, from the ends of the heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And that's talking about America, man. The weapons of the Lord indignation are those missiles, man. And they come from the ends of heaven, man. And they gonna strike and leave America desolate, man. You know, that great whore, man, that sitteth upon all these nations, spoiling them, man. Verse 6, it say, Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come to pass as a destruction from the Almighty. You know. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. You know. I'm going to stop at 9. I keep going. It say, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Yeah, going into our people, man. 2/3 of our people gonna be destroyed out of it, man. Why? Because they are sinners. They refuse to repent. You know, they shun the prophets. They reject knowledge. So they're gonna die without it, man. Verse 10, it say, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, and the sun shall be darkened and darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And that's the point on it, man. This Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth the instruments for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy, going into those ICBM missiles, man, those nuclear missiles, man, and what they want, more warheads, man. So the Lord created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, man. Why? For this reason right here. This Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9, it say, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, America, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain, and the Chaldees shall be a spoil. Americans, all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of my heritage. You Americans, man. You the main ones who destroyed the Lord's hair. You the top of the people on the earth. All these heathen help. Even the Edomites on the other side of the world help. But you American Edomites and you just Americans, oh man, you played a humongous role, man. It say, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother, this the point, the UK, shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. You know. But America, the mother of America is Britain, man. You know. The mother of America is Britain. That little horn that came out of the seventh, that's going into America, man. Verse 13, it say, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited. Yeah, America is gonna never be inhabited again once the Lord get through with this place. But it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues, man. You know, and that's what's coming to this place, man. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bendeth the bow, all of you that possess these missiles, man. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, let them bitches fly, all however many you got, let them fly, shoot them at Babylon, man, America, man. It say, for she hath sinned against Yahweh, you know, and that's the point. Let's go back to, let's go to Revelation again. Because this is that great city, man. I think it say something about Babylon. Let's see. Yep. There's Revelation chapter 17 and verse 3. It say, so back in 17 verse 3, I'm gonna end it here. It say, so he carried me away in the spirit, in the spirit unto the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast. America sitting upon NATO and the EU. The beast is Esau's power rulership, going from the Greeks to now, man. Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads. The 7 heads going into those rulerships, and 10 horns. You know, it was 10 horns back then during the Roman rulership. Now it's 10 horns now. More than 10, really. You know, because they got the whole earth in their possession, man. You know, they don't just got over there in the Middle East and, you know, parts of Europe. They got the whole earth. So, of course, it's more nations, man. You know. It say, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That's America all day, man. And upon her forehead was written a name, on her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth, man. So this is that place, man. This is that place where it said in Jeremiah, this is what Jeremiah 50 talking about. It say, verse 13, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon, you could put Babylon the Great, you know, because Babylon just means confusion. Babal, you know, confusion. Everyone that go past Mystery, Babylon the Great, that's what it should say, shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues, man. And yeah, that's talking about this place, America. See, they don't call it America in the Bible, but that's the true name for this place, man. Mystery, Babylon the Great, man. It's written all over this bitch forehead, man. You know, and this place is getting ready to go out soon, man. And all you people that want to cleave to this place gonna go out with it, man. So repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. With that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, rule web, and the great example to his younger brothers in the truth, and peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. With that, Shalom, Kwam Yashala, and Abba, Shalom.